Hello my dears, I hope you're doing well. So I'm very happy to be back with you for another episode of Inspirations. That's my weekly podcast about knitting and yarn dyeing. So I'm an indie dyer based in France and I sell my hand-dyed yarns in my Etsy shop. So this podcast is mainly about my activity as an indie dyer, but also about my knitting, my projects, and my life. Again, in general, sometimes there are some little anecdotes about my life. So if you're new to the podcast, welcome, and I hope you'll enjoy the content. Just a few introduction facts. So the podcast is uploaded once a week on Mondays at 5 p.m. Paris time. There's a newsletter that's sent out at the same time, and the shop is updated once a week on Monday afternoons. Except when there's a fiber festival looming, in which case 2 weeks prior there's no shop update. And also just the Monday after the fiber festival there's no podcast. So you've got everything. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for being with me for another episode. So today I'm going to debrief you about my last fiber show. So that's Exceptio'laines. It was in the east of France, northeast of France. Then I'm going to share with you the February colorway for the Sock Knitter's Almanac. Then there will be a bit of knitting and a word about future projects and books. Because I feel like I'm reading a lot this year. It was not really a New Year resolution, but it must have been, subconsciously, because actually I'm reading much more and thinking a bit more about what I want to read, and so that's cool. I'm going to share that with you. But first, the debrief of the Exceptio'laines festival. So that was my first one, was the 3rd edition, but it was my first Exceptio'laines festival. So it was very near Metz, which is close to Luxembourg, Belgium and Germany. I think it's a 40-minute drive from Luxembourg. So I had the pleasure to see a lot of clients from Belgium, from Luxembourg, from the east of France as well. So it's really northeast of France. It's an area that bears a lot of landmarks related to the First World War. A lot of the battles took place in that part of France. It's Meurthe-et-Moselle. And when you drive there, you go through a lot of landmarks like this. On this place, there was a battle fought during the 1418 World War, and it's very gripping. I mean, it's very emotional because you see just a pretty landscape, you see a beautiful plain and hills and beautiful rolling hills, and it's a beautiful scenery. But thinking that just over a century ago, this was, a war zone with lots of people dying, and the tranchées, and I don't think the tranchées were there, but it was really a very dangerous place to be. And how were the people living, because the place I'm living right now is in Ile-de-France, and there were no real battle going on here. It was on the East Front, and so we don't have that kind of landmarks. There was some battle, you can see some, what we had were, I think, bombers dropping bombs here. In the forest right near my house, you can still see huge craters where some bombs were dropped, and you have to, meander through them, through the forest. There's tens of them. I don't know how many, but almost 100, I think. So, but there it's really marked as a landmark, public landmark for everyone to see and everyone to remember. So yeah, that was moving. And it's the first time actually I drove to the east of France, so that was new to me. And oh my God, I enjoyed it so much. People there are so welcoming. They are so warm, and the town we were staying in the hotel were very nice. And yeah, this feeling of feeling, you know, you feel very welcome, and everything is. I don't know, it's really like a very good feeling being there. The organizer, Kathleen, was absolutely adorable. I mean, if I could have hugged her and kissed her, I couldn't, but I felt like at the end of the festival, like hugging her, because she's been adorable. She's been very present for every need. She organized a dinner with all the exhibitors, and she was catering to every wish, and she was very present and very forthcoming and lovely. The people who were doing some benevola, sorry guys, I don't remember the name, like they weren't paid, were absolutely adorable too. Cécile helped me unloading my van. She was there during the whole festival, helping me and presenting me people and introducing me to new faces. And yeah, no, I mean, it was a great festival. We had a lovely time. I had time to have dinner with friends, with a friend of mine in Didaille as well. You might go check her out. She's Arco Iris, and her work is absolutely gorgeous, and she's a very good friend of mine, so we had time to catch up as well, so that was great. And that's what I like also when I go on tour like this. I feel like I'm going on tour, is that I get to see a lot of clients that I don't know, but also I get to spend time with my colleagues, other indie dyers, and we have a very good, you know, community feeling among us, and we like to be, we talk shop, we talk business, we share tips, I mean, you know, the tide lifts all boats, and we really feel that, and it's a very good community to be in, and very open and very friendly. So I'm incredibly grateful to be able to do that as my job, my day-to-day job. That's so cool. There's not one day that I don't tell myself that just enjoy the day. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do that all my life, but this time of my life feels so precious. You know, being able to work from home, deciding that, for example, I mean, I have 4 kids between 14 and 3. They are all either sick or contact of someone sick. As I'm touching some, I'm very lucky because so far we haven't tested anyone positive for COVID. But I mean, there's not just COVID out there, okay? There's a bunch of awful viruses giving them lots of pain and lots of coughing and lots of stomach ache and vomiting and you know, all your cold and sore throat and everything. I mean, it's not COVID, but at least it's not so bad as COVID, but it's not the kind of virus you wish you had either. And so it's the first time ever that they're all sick at the same time. The only one that has only stomach ache is Constant, and I've just learned this morning is a contact for someone with COVID. So, I mean, okay, everyone is staying home this week. I've decided I'm not letting anyone out. I'm just fed up with all that. I mean, it's been 10 days now that they are not feeling well, feeling under the weather, with a very strong fever. Okay, I'm fed up. I'm just keeping everyone until everyone is back on its feet and on his or her feet, and they're feeling better, because, I mean, we are sending them much too early and back to school, back to whatever, and then they get sick again. So I'm so fed up with that. So everybody's staying home. I've decided. And it's a good thing too, because, I mean, Constant should have been at school today, and I mean, if I had not kept him at home, I should have, I would have been forced to pick him pick him up from school during the morning because I just received the message that he was contact for COVID because he was at a sport activity yesterday. I had a hunch yesterday not to take him to that activity. I had a strong hunch and I was like, no, you're not going to put everybody in a bubble. They have to live their life. Just let them enjoy. He just has a mild stomachache. Everybody's testing negative for COVID. Just let him enjoy this. It was trampoline. And here you go. There was a sick kid at the trampoline with COVID, tested positive for COVID, and then his contact. Well, I'm not complaining. So far, we've dodged COVID. I don't know even how we did it. I mean, I don't understand. I think because I'm saying that, we're going to have it next week. That's Murphy's Law, right? Again, I'm touching wood and monkey skin or whatever. Strange sayings in French. And okay, that's all for, I told you there were tidbits of my life. Here they are. But yeah, I don't know why I was telling you that, but the thing is, my baby Amelia was sick just before I left for Exceptio'laines, and I thought maybe I shouldn't leave because if I'm sick there, like Amelia with a huge fever and vomiting everywhere, it's not going to be pretty. But because everybody was negative for COVID and I was feeling fine, I said, okay, I'm going. And because my friend Letitia had COVID, I had no one with me except my eldest daughter, who is always adamant to come with me on fiber shows because she loves that. So she came with me and I'm so grateful that she did because, I mean, she was with me all Saturday and she was very efficient and I wouldn't have been able to do that without her. And the day after she was sick, like vomiting everywhere with a huge fever. So yeah, I knew I had again a hunch that would happen. But anyway, I'm glad we went there because I was able to do the festival. I did not get sick. So again. And all in all, it was great. It was absolutely a great festival. I'm really happy I did it. I had the most wonderful client come from Belgium, gifting me some My Little Pony Generation 1, which is the one I'm collecting. You can see there's a little hint here. That's a card from a original My Little Pony toy from Surprise, if you must know. So I'm actively collecting them. And she brought me this bag full of My Little Pony, exactly the right period that I like, because I only love and collect G1, not G2. And there were 8 of them, like 4 adults and 4 babies, and a lot of accessories. And I was like, I was so happy. And then I was able to have a chat with a lot of clients that I didn't know face to face, but I got to meet, which was awesome. The festival was great, lot of very high quality exhibitors, friends of mine also. So that was very cool. I'm going to share with you what I bought. So I bought this little set of markers from a friend of mine. She's Fanny Brou and her shop is Atelier de Calixen. I'm going to put all the links in the show notes. So you see it's a very fall themed little set of markers that I love. Then from Loli Lafay, I bought another pins. I have like a lot of them, not those one, which are super cool, but that is not those one. This one with the pumpkin and the yarn and the oak leaf and the candle. One day I'll share with you my collection of pins. Oh, I can just maybe share one with you. Like, I'm a huge Ghostbuster fan, for example, so I have this one. Yeah, this one with the shining. I have the Call of Cthulhu as well. Yeah, you can see the theme. I have the Sanderson Sisters Bed and Breakfast, for example. Well, that's just, you know, not the subject here. I bought a very cute and heavenly smelling scented, not smelling crystal, candle from Loli Lafay called La Douce. Smells heavenly. I I bought some tea from Loli Lafay as well. So the pin swivel was from her as well. So I bought some tea. I'm a huge tea addict. So I already tasted this one with Laetitia. It's Douceur d'automne and it's great. It's Rooibos Potillon, which is pumpkin, cinnamon and orange. The Perfect Chai and Enchanted Christmas. So it's never, yes, it's still the time. It's Christmas. I haven't put down the Christmas tree yet. Yeah. Okay, so I have not tasted them yet, but I will very soon. Also, the only yarn I bought was from somebody called, I don't know, I don't remember her name. Well, the association is called Flora, and this is what she dyed. So it's a very heavyweight mohair yarn. So I have a 100-gram skein and 60-gram skein. I absolutely have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but it's really, really soft. And I bought this because this is her shop, Boutique Flora. And I wanted to support her initiative because, you know, she's saving from the slaughterhouse old horses that do not have any use anymore. And I'm putting that like this because, I mean, it's really awful to say that, but I mean, they've been working all their lives in, you know, horse centers where you can ride, or maybe, I don't know why else, but these days what use you can have for a horse, but at one point they're too old, and sometimes the structures can keep them, so they sell them to the slaughterhouse. And this woman, she's saving them from the slaughterhouse and keeping them because she has land and she's able to keep them, and she's selling yarn just to have money to feed them. So I decided that was a really good way to support her, to buy a couple of skeins that I think are really pretty. So yeah, if you want to support her, you can. She has a Facebook page, and I'm going to put all the details in the show notes as well. And if I was local to this woman, I would go help to take care of the horses because I love horses. I'm just a city girl, so I've never had the chance to really be around them really, but a bit, and I really love to, you know, just not to ride them really, but just take care of them, like, yeah. So, the February colorway of the Sockneedles Almanac. So, first of all, I didn't know that February, like Februar, is a Latin name meaning purification. Yeah, okay. So that's a way to, I mean, the custom was to, you know, prepare for the new season, for when everything is going to sprout and come back to life by purifying your, like cleaning your environment, yourself, to be ready to start again the new year, because in other times, all the cultures, the beginning of the year was March, which makes totally sense. I mean, to me, it totally makes sense. So that's the idea for February. And while we're at it, this month theme is really not what I'm doing usually. So I'm going to put the mood board here, and you can see, first of all, it's not pictures, it's illustration, it's drawings, and it's really inspired by a fantasy / Celtic universe. And I decided to call this month's colorway Druidesse because so the Celts were there before the Gaulois in France, and actually from my dad, from Bretagne, Brittany. So this all this Celtic culture kind of resonates with me a lot, and I'm a sucker for it, so I like to read about it, and I like to, you know, get to know it better. And even if I'm not you know, really into Wicca or things like that, like in bulk and all the meanings, and I like to know about it just out of pure intellectual curiosity. And what I really like is that, so Druids in the Celtic culture could be indifferently men or women, and I really like that you know, character of a woman respected by society, with kind of power, close to nature, and with knowledge of things hidden for the common men and women. So I decided to get inspired by that, so that's my mood board. And the colorway of the month is called Druidesse, and it's inspired by this palette of colors with blues, greens, browns, and a bit of gray and beige. So this is this month's colorway. And you can see that the colors are all kind of cold, a cool palette of colors with, depending on the bases, difference on how the dye struck the yarn and how it's mixing with the other colors. So let's start with Stellina, the very light sparkle yarn. So there's this beautiful blue-gray here with more blue shades here, with a tiny dash of green and brown and a lot of beige. I have not knitted up this colorway yet. I'm going to knit a sock out of it, and I'm going to start with the month of February, and maybe, because I'm a type A personality, I'm going to do January as well. I'm going to knit some samples to show you guys how the colorway knit up, or the colorways knit up. So I'm going to do a knit and a crochet square, just for you to have an idea how it knits up, and if you wish to use this, for example, in a bigger piece than a sock. So this is on MCN. So as usual on MCN, the colors are much more separated and clear, no mixing really on this base. This is on tweed, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to knit my sock out of tweed. I've not decided yet, but I really like the way it looks on tweed. This is on BFL, and so there will be all your usual bases in the shop to choose from, but I tested this colorway on 5 bases to start with. So those 2 bases, the color, their color, natural color is a bit off from the you know, white, off-white base color of almost all the yarn. This one is a bit on the gray side, and this one is a bit on the yellow side. So this has a influence on how the colorway looks when it's dyed, and this is really compared to a off-white base. And so this is the last one. This is on extra thin fingering, the my best-selling yarn, and the one that I love most. So I don't know yet on which base I'm going to knit the socks, but the sock pattern for this month, the suggestion of sock pattern for this month, is actually not a sock pattern at all. I wanted to offer you guys to participate in a little challenge, because, you know, I've just finished my January socks. So it was the interpretation socks, intersections socks by Marceline Smith. It's the first pattern of the 52 weeks of socks by Len. And I'm going to show it to you guys. So here it is, completed out of Lune du Loup, which was the January colorway of the Sock Knitter's Almanac. So I'm loving it, but I am just so fed up with cables that I don't want to hear the word cable for at least 3 months. Okay, so too many cables for me, too many, and I'm not going to knit the other side of this sock. I think I'm going to ask for the help of a friend to have the second sock, because I knit those socks to, you know, show off the colorway when I'm on fiber shows. So the primary purpose of this sock is to show how the colorway knits up, and to also show the the sock pattern suggestion. I'm really having a hard time with this word. The sock pattern suggestion for the month. But yes, I don't want to knit any more cables. So what I thought, because I had a very, very precise idea of what I wanted to knit with that. So instead of, you know, going on a Ravelry quest to find the perfect sock, as I'm a sock designer myself, I decided I would design my own. And I wanted to know, guys, if you wanted to take part, because I have on my website tutorials and written pattern recipes. Actually, it's not really a pattern, it's a recipe to knit your own vanilla sock. I mean, no motif whatsoever, no pattern, just your regular stockinette sock with instructions for the different techniques you need to knit either a cuff down or a toe up sock. There are 2 recipes. So what I wanted to offer you guys, if you want to, you can just download one of the patterns, knit it as a vanilla sock if you wish, or do like me and choose a stitch pattern from a stitch dictionary and throw it in and knit your own. So that's going to be the challenge. So here is the here is the hashtag for the challenge. There's going also to be a little discussion thread on Ravelry, so it will not be moderated very often. So that's just for you guys to be able to share your ideas and to share your pattern if you wish with other knitters. I'm going to be there from, I'll pop my head to just, you know, share the pattern I'm going to knit. I'm going to share the chart I'm going to use to knit my own. I've already decided that I'm going to use the slightly modified version of the ostrich plumes stitch pattern from a stitch dictionary that I have, and I'm going to share the chart with you guys. If you want to join me in knitting that pattern, or if you want to knit your own, you can also share, and that's the challenge for February. Okay, so let me know what you think if you wish to join us. It's going to be so on Ravelry, and it's going to be bilingual on Ravelry, and it's going to be on Instagram as well. So don't hesitate to, you know, join in and have fun and go on a little sock adventure for this month. So in terms of projects, I've shown you the sock I've just finished, and I'm staying monogamous, and I don't know what's happening to me. I don't understand. I've never been through that phase before. That's completely new for me. Usually when I frog a lot, I cast on a lot just afterwards. So I don't know what is going on, guys. So I finished this, which was officially my last project on the needles, because I have something else, but I'm going to frog it. I've decided to frog it. So it was a design, but it's not going to work out, so I'm going to frog it. So that's officially the last thing I had on the needles. So what I did, I told you I would. I cast on for the Stunning String Studio bonus mystery card of the Stunning Mystery Society of 2022. That's the club I subscribed to again for 2022, and this is the if you don't want to be spoiled to your eyes, this is the first clue, because it's 10 clue over 10 months, and this is the January clue that's almost completed. So not much to see there, just a beautiful variegated piece of knitting with lace, but you can't see it really clearly. I don't know how the rest of the shawl is going to be, but I must say that you don't see the pattern very clearly here. So the colorway is exclusive for the members of the club. It's Wild Irish Rose, and it's beautiful. It's really not my usual color combination, but that's good. I mean, I'm going out of my comfort zone, and that's always good. I don't think I will be casting on for the first mystery call of the year, the Ellis Island shawl, although I would really love to, but I'm being really practical about this. I won't have the time, and it's going to end frogged as well. It might just end like that. So I'm going to continue adulting on that. I'm really going to cast on something that I think I will cast off. And this is the case. I mean, I've knitted the first clue, I'm almost there, and it took me like 2 hours, so that's good. That's good. 3 hours maybe. Then I finished my sholography. I'm so happy, and I must say I enjoyed this design from start to finish, maybe except it for the bubble row, which was really, really long. I think it took me 3 knitting séances to finish it, which is way too long. But I mean, otherwise I enjoyed it thoroughly from end to finish, and I think it's looking gorgeous. I really love the colors I chose, and so the colors were Rose Ancienne, Copper Clouds, Gloria, Heatwave, and Hebrides, and I am completely smitten with this design and this color palette. And it is a stunner as well, because a lot of people stopped me and asked me what pattern it was. I mean, it looks beautiful when worn. You see, you have this very graphic details just on the elbow, on the shoulder, and it looks very, very good. So yeah, 5 star. And actually, I think I have two design projects I wish to work on. The first one is out of Sport Weight, which is a new base to me. I've almost never knitted sport in my knitter's life, and I decided to bring it into the shop, but I like to bring new bases in the shop with an associated project for you guys. So I got very inspired by this base, and I've just dyed 2 colorways, and I'm itching to cast on a design idea I've just had. So I'm just waiting for the yarn to dry, because I dyed it yesterday, so it's actually drying. And in the meantime, I don't know if you remember, but I have this project of knitting a lace shawl out of this gorgeous BFL silk base. It's a 150 gram skein, so it's big baby. And I've skeined it up, and I'm almost ready to cast on. I just have to, I've chosen the stitch pattern. I changed my mind. I had already charted it, but I changed my mind, so I have to chart it again. The new choice I had. It's going to be very simple, very straightforward, just a simple stitch pattern, lace stitch pattern that I'm going to knit consistently throughout the shawl, and just the kind of knitting that is striking when it's finished. It's interesting to knit because you have you know, rows that you can easily memorize, and but still have an interest in it. It's not only, you know, garter stitch or stockinette. And just with, I think, a garter stitch border and something very simple to finish it off, I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be a good idea to do that, because it would enable me to, you know, it would enable knitters to customize the length of the border depending on which yarn, how much yarn they have left. So that's the idea behind this, and it should be quick, because I mean, I was able to knit a whole 5 skein worth of yarn during the advent calendars, and I knitted that very quickly. I mean, the étole La Bohème, the stole La Bohème, I mean, it's a new reference for me. I knitted that like in a month and a half, and it was like 5 skeins. So if I'm able to knit that, this is only 1.5. This will be done in 2 weeks, guys, if I'm monogamous as well. So that's the plan. And then the Sport Weight shawl, and I can't wait to share more with you. The yarn is, again, drying, so I can't share it with you. At the beginning, I thought I would keep all my patterns a mystery in case I wanted to do mystery calls, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to share the process with you, but because I really love to share all the process with you guys and show you how it's going, and share with you when I fail too, because sometimes it's absolutely not going the way I wanted, and I'm restarting everything. So I will share my progress on that with you guys in the podcast for this design and the next one. So the next podcast will be in 2 weeks' time, because I have another festival coming up on the 11th and 12th of February. That's Malakoff, which is, I'm playing home this time. It's like a 1 hour drive from where I live. And the next shop update and next podcast will be on the 21st of February. I just forgot to tell you that for this colorway, I don't know if I told you, it's going to be available on pre-order only. And because I'm dying for the next festival, there was only a 2-week period between the two festivals, I will dye this after, so I will dye all your order after the festival. So this colorway, if you order it today, will ship end of February, beginning of March. So everything will be clearly stated on the product listing and on my website. But just to let you know, just a quick reminder that it will be it will ship end of February, beginning of March. And that's it for this week, guys. So I wish you a very happy and serene fortnight. I will see you guys in the next episode on the 21st of February. And in the meantime, take care, enjoy, and knit. See you guys.